What's the new Toyota GR Yaris like to live with every day? Can you have one as your daily driver? Well, I thought the only way to find that out was to get and acquire one. You know, noble act, answering the questions that you may well have. So, yeah, I've got a new car and this is it. So I've got that in addition to the Audi RS6 and the Mercedes-AMG A45 S, and of course my own personal cars, the Porsche 911 996, the supercharged Mazda MX-5, the Fiat 126 and the Suzuki Jimny. I definitely got a problem, haven't I? Anyway, I'm Matt Watson, you're watching CarWow.
Buying a new car? Then head to CarWow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. CarWow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Before we start this video, I want to just explain something to you. I don't actually own this car. It's actually on long-term loan from Toyota, like with the RS6 and the Mercedes A45, so we can do lots of content on them and find out what they're like to live with and even find out some of their faults. When Toyota said they'd be willing to lend CarWow a car, they did say that they had a black one put aside for us, but I actually wanted the pearlescent white one, which is what this one is. Now, it does cost you 880 quid for this paint. The black metallic or red metallic has 550 quid. I don't like the red so much. Black's good, but it doesn't show off the contrasting black panels as well as the white. You can also get a flat white, which is quite nice, but pearlescent white for the win. As you're probably aware, Toyota built the GR Yaris to go rallying. It's a homologation special. They only built 25,000 of them worldwide, and it has a rally-inspired four-wheel drive system. In fact, Toyota built the four-wheel drive system just for this car. It's very clever, actually. Normally, it sends 60% of the power to the front, 40 to the rear. Turn this knob here, and you can put it into track mode, and it's 50-50 split, or turn it the other way, and you go into sports mode, and it's 30%, 70% split. So rear drive biased in a Yaris, which is just utterly nuts. This little GR Yaris has a 1.6 litre, 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine, but it puts out just over 260 horsepower. Well, that's a claim figure. Actually, people have got these on the dyno and they're putting out over 270. And some people are saying, well, you know, 1.6, 3-cylinder, with that much power, it's going to fail eventually. It's just going to struggle. And they forget it's a Toyota. And being a Toyota, just like with any other Toyota, you get the classic Toyota 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty. And I think even beyond that, this car should be fine. Reason being, right, this is the pet project of Toyota's boss, Akio Toyoda. He's involved in this project. It will have been a real honour for the engineers to work on it, even the people who screwed them together. Do you think that this car isn't going to be reliable? That it won't be built to the highest quality ever? Of course it will be. I have no doubt that these will be absolutely fine for well past that warranty period. In the UK, you have three choices when buying the GR Yaris. There's the normal version, and it comes in at just under £30,000. Then there's the convenience pack, which costs just over £32,000, and it adds some luxury features, such as a heads-up display, an upgraded stereo, inbuilt satellite navigation for the infotainment system, front and rear parking sensors, and some extra safety kit like blind spot monitoring. The next stage is the circuit pack, which is really the one you want because it adds loads and loads of mechanical upgrades, such as front and rear limited slip differentials. You get upgraded lighter forged alloy wheels, and they wear Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. You get some red brake calipers as well, and sportier suspension. Weirdly, you can't have the circuit pack and the convenience pack together. It's one or the other. I don't think it's like that in some other countries, but for some reason in the UK it is. A guy from Toyota told me it was something to do with the fact that they are right-hand drive and it's to do with wiring looms. But anyway, you should get the circuit pack. It costs just over £33,000. I haven't actually tried just the normal car, but really if you're buying something like this, you're going to want the diffs, aren't you? As far as I'm concerned, if you're in the UK and you buy any other version of the GR Yaris than the circuit pack model, you've lost the plot. In fact, I'm going to come around your house and hit you with a stick, then quickly drive away again in my Yaris so you don't beat me up. Now, some people are saying that this car's too expensive. With the circuit pack, £33,000 for a Yaris. Though it's not a Yaris, is it, when you think about it? You see, what happens is, they take this car off the Yaris production line, then they move it to the Motomachi factory, which is where they built the LFA, and then it's basically hand-built by expert technicians. They do stuff like re-welding it and add extra bracing and loads of different stuff to it. It takes 10 times as long to put this car together than it does a normal Toyota hatchback. And then don't forget it's got its own bespoke engine, all-wheel drive system. If you actually look at the cost going into this, Toyota must be selling it at a loss. They probably do some clever accounting where the development cost of this was actually put through the Gazoo Racing Rally team. I reckon if they wanted to make a profit, the normal way of accounting for a car's cost, this thing would be 40 grand, maybe even 50 grand. And I love cars that are built as a halo project by manufacturers, and then you, the consumer, can get it for much cheaper than it would really cost as if it was a standard car. It was the same with the LFA. That was built at a loss. One of the things I really like about this car is that you've got 2 stages of stability control. So if you have the car in sport or track mode and you press the stability control button once, you go into expert settings. So it'll let you have some slip and play around, but then the safety systems will help gather you up if you get things badly wrong. That's good for people like me. However, if you press and hold the button down, you can turn off all the systems completely, which if you've got a skid pan like this and it's wet, it's great fun. Now I've put the car in sport settings, so I'm setting 70% of the power to the rear wheels, and you can be driving along and just go, oh, in fact, let's go into second. Rally style. I mean, it's just utter nuts. I'm doing this in a Yaris. And a bit more handbrake. It's so good. This is nuts. Oh yes. Oh, a bit close to the barrier there. Oh, and you can feel the diff like really hook up. So good. It is nuts that you can do this in a Yaris. Oh, get it around there, come on. So much fun, this car. Now I know somebody, a chap called Imran at Evolve, who's going to try and hack the 4-wheel drive system, because apparently when he was in Japan speaking to some of the engineers working on this car, they said it is technically possible to make the all-wheel drive system fully rear drive. It's going to be interesting to see if you can do that. He's got a Yaris GR, so I'll be working on it to find out how to do that exactly. It's just nuts, this thing. One of the real cool features on this car is that it has a carbon fibre roof, which is insane on a car of this size. However, what you see here is actually a wrap. The reason they wrap it apparently is because it's very expensive to lacquer it, so they just save money by wrapping it. However, I quite fancy removing this wrap because I've seen someone else has done it, and then you get this forged carbon fibre effect like you have on a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Looks really, really good. Now this video might be sounding a little bit like a marketing exercise for Toyota, but it's not. There are some things that I'm not so keen on with this car. The first is the exhaust note. It's rubbish, utterly rubbish. I mean, you would have no idea how quick and how much fun this car is to drive with the sound of that. I suppose the police won't hear you coming. Now, to enhance the actual driving experience, Toyota does play fake noise through the car speakers. Apparently it's not that fake, so they take the best sound waves from the engine and then amplify them, and that's what you hear through the speakers, but it's still artificial, though I guess it is a bit like electric guitar artificial rather than just fully synthesized. Could do with being a bit more acoustic though, I think. So what's an aftermarket exhaust? One of the things a lot of people complained about with this car, me included, is the seating position. So the seats are really good and supportive, I like them, but you just can't quite get low enough. In some ways it doesn't matter too much, because if you're my height, it's fine, and being slightly higher is a bit rally car-ish, so you feel like you've got a better view forward. However, if you're tall, you could struggle for headroom. And here's a big problem, look. Really, anyone who's average or even slightly tall is really gonna find it annoying if you've got a helmet on. They have cut away part of the roof, but look, can you see? Check this out. I mean, do you know what I mean? Look at that. There is really no room to play with at all. Just move that out of the way. Do I look stupid? I'll tell you one thing though about this. I reckon there's going to be a load of aftermarket seating companies looking at how they can actually lower the seat. Part of the problem is that the brackets are really, really high. So they're going to have to come up with a clever solution to get the seat low, because I don't think it's going to be all that easy to do it. When I first drove this car, I thought Toyota had come up with a neat little solution for the low cover, you know, lightweight, here it is. However, living with it, it's a bit of an arse. If anything is in the boot that's a bit tall, and believe me, this boot is not very deep, this just pops up like that, and it basically means that you can't see out the back window. Then when you want to remove it, it's much harder than it should be. Now you have to undo this, but the problem is the way that this cord attaches to these little plastic hooks, because there's not enough play in the loop on the cord which holds them in, so it really is much harder than it ever should be to remove this. Now I don't mind too much. Toyota's engineers have spent their time sorting out what this car's like to drive rather than fanning around with stuff like this, but it's a real arse to remove and then refit. Let's just move out of this segment because this is really, really dull, isn't it? Oh, I've had enough of that. Do you know what? I should be consistent, shouldn't I? I should be bloody consistent. That's the best one yet. For something that's based on a rally car, the pedal positioning is a little bit annoying. So there's quite a gap between the brake pedal and the throttle pedal, and the throttle pedal is recessed slightly. So look, it's a bit too wide for easy heel and towing. Normally, if I'm heel and towing, I wouldn't want big, silly boots like this, look. But they actually work better in this car due to that gap. You can heel and tow in it, it's just not as easy as it should be. The GR Yaris' steeply raked windscreen, combined with a big pod where all the sensors are for the driver assistance systems, and a big ass rear view mirror, which is way bigger than it needs to be. It only actually needs to be big enough that you can see the entirety of the back window, and that back window is really small. Anyway, all that combined together means that there's absolutely terrible visibility through the central part of the windscreen. Now, as a result, I've seen some people driving along by turning the rear view mirror sideways so they get a much better view out. In fact, my German colleague, which I'll tell you about in a second, when they went on the launch of this car, Toyota had removed those rear view mirrors because they're driving them on track. Now, let's go back to that German colleague. You see, CarWow has just launched a proper YouTube channel in Germany, and if you want to check it out and check out our new presenter, just click on that pop-out banner up there. I've done a link to that channel. Go check it out. It's great that this car has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, use it all the time. The annoying thing is though, is that you've only got one USB input and it's here. So you need to put your phone up there. Thing is, this car is super fast. So you end up just having your phone shooting like that as you accelerate to the back of the car, which isn't good. Now, you could put in a cup holder, but you don't want it there because then you've got this wire trailing. So what I've had to do is get some of this special sticky black tack that we use for mounting cameras and use it to secure my phone in place up there like that. Brilliant. To be fair, all those negatives I just listed don't matter all that much when you consider just how much fun this thing is to drive and how awesome it looks. Now, over the coming months, I'm going to do lots of different videos on this car. It's just locked itself. Yeah, thankfully. I've got the key in my pocket. In fact, I think I just leant against the handle and it's got keyless entry, so you can lock and unlock it by just touching the handle with your keys in your pocket. Whew, that could have been embarrassing. Like I was saying, I'm going to be doing lots of videos on this car. Maybe you have some ideas. What would you like to see me do with it? Some drag races, some group tests, maybe meet some other owners who've perhaps tuned their cars, see what work they've done on them? Let me know in the comments. I will read through them. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way you will not miss a single upload or my next video about the GR Yaris. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. If you'd like to see me drag race a Toyota GR Yaris against a Honda Civic Type R, you can click on that window there, or on that window down there to see me race one against a Mini GP. If you click on that box there, you can go to CarWow to see how much money you can save on a new car.